Yeah, guys, sorry for just being late. Like, I got some issue regarding to the network or the Twitter. I don't know. I'm trying to join, but no worries, guys. We are here with your favorite crypto space, Wise Crypto, and today we'll discuss more about the Venom Network. So just wait a bit, like for our honorable guest, actually. Hello, Robert. Can you hear me?
Hi, Emma. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you for having here.
Yeah, thank you. Excited to be here.
Yes. So I think we can start now if you're ready. Then.
Well, I was informed about this pretty recently. So, is Daryl here? I think he would be quite instrumental in providing some exciting answers to the questions here. I'm sort of here to support as well, but we have Daryl on the line. Is that you, Daryl? Masquerading as Shiraz?
Yes. Do you guys hear me?
Wonderful. We can hear you.
Yes. Yeah. Finally, you're here.
Great.
So I think we can start now. Um, so first of all, I'd like to say sorry, people, for this delay actually, but no worries. Stay tuned. So here is Daryl and Robert. So first of all, could you please introduce yourself a little bit to our community?
Sure. I guess I'll go off. Hi, I'm Daryl. I'm the CSO of Venom. Currently, I am under the account of Shiraz, but I'm also here in the space. You guys can go ahead to my profile and check it out. I mainly do the ecosystem growth here at Venom, and I have Robert along with me. Robert, you want to do an intro for yourself?
Sure. I'm the creative director at Venom, which means I focus a lot on clarifying the Venom vision, working on our branding, and making sure that we're getting everything across that we want to on that front, and positioning the company in an accurate way, and also work a lot on creative campaigns and that sort of thing, and sometimes hop on some Twitter Spaces with Daryl to have a little chat.
Yes, thank you for this actually. So it's time to know more about Venom actually. Could you say what is Venom and also could you mention some of your current activities like what is ongoing in your community?
Sure. I guess I can give a high level overview, and then maybe Robert can take it from there to explain kind of what we're doing at the moment. To start it off, Venom, the moment we built this blockchain for the core mission of solving the problem in DeFi where there's a lack of liquidity and solving the problem in crypto where there's a lack of users. Now, the way that we do this is firstly, by being the infrastructure for real world assets. This unlocks plenty of assets on chain, giving us new liquidity in DeFi. And secondly, new users, we actually attract them through fiat backed stablecoin initiatives in several countries. This actually allows us to tap into tons of Web2 users that haven't yet been introduced to crypto. And we can actually offer them banking services through the power of blockchain to onboard them onto our chain and eventually get millions of users on our chain. We're currently in testnet. The marketing guys doing a tremendous job with that. And Robert can definitely touch upon that. So go for it.
Sure. So I won't dig too much into the specifics of the marketing, I suppose, but at the end of the day, a lot of people know that we're on testnet, and one thing that's awesome to see is that the sentiment on Twitter is that the Venom testnet is the smoothest experience they've seen so far, which I think is really great, and I've had the same experience, so that's really fantastic. But we are really, a lot of people, we get the when mainnet question a lot. We don't have a specific answer for you guys today, but there's going to be news in the near future. But that's really what we're doing is preparing everything for mainnet. So there's been large upgrades to the blockchain and making sure that everything is working the way that it's supposed to, and even better, the last upgrade that was made, there was like a massive increase in the throughput. I think something like 8 to 10x. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was around there. So yeah, we're just really gearing up to prepare everything. So that includes obviously the product side, which is the chain and things of that nature, but also we're working on exciting things. Like there was an announcement recently with our partnership with the UE government for the carbon credit system and things of that nature. And yeah, that's kind of what's happening behind the scenes at the moment.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, like Venom is a scalable blockchain solution that the designed to meet up the needs of real world application. So Robert, as you mentioned about your testnet, could you say like how long will the testnet of Venom take place, and also what should anyone need to do to like participate in your testnet?
Yes, sure. So we haven't announced any specifics around how long testnet is going to be, but there will be news in the near future about that. And people can go to venom.network. It is very clear what you should do if you want to just participate, as we have a list of applications or dApps that people can just click on. There's a couple of tasks for you to do, and it's a really great way to get a feel for how good the technology is. It is very smooth, and it's very wonderful to see that. So I can't really speak much more on it than that, but yeah, venom.network is where you can see what it's all about and how it works.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for the information. And also, as far I know, your aim is to build a blockchain for all, actually. So, could you say what kind of activities you are doing to make this initiative, and also what is your plan, and also to make it stand out from other project?
Mainly, the thing that we do that makes us stand out is we're looking to tackle a different niche, right? Instead of going for the typical Web3 user, we're really fixated on targeting the Web2 user. The reason for this is, we're not trying to solve the normal problem of getting a whole NFT ecosystem built on our chain, even though we have this, right? We're trying to really solve the problem that there's tons of people around the world that do not have access to basic financial services, right? Savings, interest in a bank account, for example, cross border payments, and even being able to access the same economic opportunities as people in developed nations. This really hits home for us, and we see that the blockchain actually has a tremendous potential to actually solve these problems, which is why we're focused on this. Um, Now, the benefits of doing so is we can get tons of new users in the crypto industry in general. So even if somebody doesn't like our chain, for example, they can still be happy that we're in this industry because we're introducing all of these users to crypto. And the way that we do that is through our governmental connections, right? Several nations lined up, ready to build fiat-backed stablecoins hosted on Venom, um, and delivering millions of users into the industry.
Yeah, and just to add to that, so the big part of this is the fact that regulation is a big part of this. I mean, everybody in crypto wants mass adoption, but how does that happen if you don't involve governments, big institutions, banks, et cetera, et cetera? Now, all of those guys and girls, they're not going to walk into an unregulated industry, and so this is why it's so important for us to work with ADGM, where that's where we have our license from in UAE. And so that's what really allows us, apart from the partnership side and the commercial side, just being able to, have the product, but also being able to actually implement it at a large scale with governments, institutions, banks, et cetera, et cetera. So that's really something that's very important to us, and something that I definitely believe makes Venom stand out quite a bit from most projects.
Yeah, thank you. And also, people, if you want to know more their plan, and also you want to know more about Venom, you can take out their all kind of information from their Medium and also other documentation actually. And I have one more question. Like, if anyone wants to develop in Venom, what kind of tools they need to require, and also, would you say is your Venom EVM compatible?
Yeah, so starting off with the EVM compatibility thing, so no, we are not EVM compatible, and there's a couple reasons why. So in this venture to actually make the most scalable blockchain ever, right? We realized that the EVM architecture was simply not fit for this. I say this because it's monolithic in nature. So the way that we achieve scalability is actually through an asynchronous blockchain, meaning that we can actually have parallel execution and many transactions can be processed at the same time. This is why the EVM compatibility thing just was not essential for us to accelerate this chain. So we're actually on the threaded virtual machine, and this gives us a lot of benefits. The first, the biggest one that probably people in the hackathon know, is native account abstraction. So everything is a smart contract, giving you tons of flexibility for different use cases, right? Even a simple recurring payments for any platform is something that's very difficult on EVM networks, right? But if we want to reach mass adoption and get to the point where we can pay for our Spotify using our non-custodial wallet, account abstraction is a must. Now, as for the tools that can help anyone, Low lift, definitely get started there. So it's pretty much a product of the Node.js framework that will allow you to easily build smart contracts. It's inspired by Truffle and Hardhat, and this can be used for developers to build, test, run, and of course maintain their smart contracts. So definitely get a chance to check that out. Also, check out our developer documentation. There's tons of good stuff in there, some code snippets, and most importantly, the community. Right? In crypto, we're all here together. We're all trying to achieve the goal of decentralizing the world. So get in touch with other people in the community, talk to other devs, and really help each other.
Yeah, thank you for that. And also, as far I know, like every project, they have some kind of token. Like, do Venom has any kind of native token? If yes, could you say some of your utilities? Like, if people buy your token, what can they do in your ecosystem?
Yeah, so the token it's our native token need for transaction fees, right? So in order to actually update the state of the blockchain, we need a native token. This isn't something new. Many chains have it. We have it too. That's the Venom token. As for the utility, though, the nice thing is because we're not just a layer one, but also a layer zero, the token has increased utility in our point of view, right? Every time you're bridging through one of the different work chains, you're actually going to need to have the token functioning to bridge assets through, as well as transactions on our layer one itself. Um, as for the token, it's also able to stake on our validator since we have a proof of stake consensus mechanism. And next to that, it's just really for development on our ecosystem.
And quick thing, Daryl, you mentioned work chains. I think it might be helpful to do a quick breakdown of what that is actually and how that fits into the whole architecture. I think that'd be helpful.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, we completely skipped over that. Yeah, so for the people that are new, work chains are pretty much our sub chains of our layer zero ecosystem. So why is it important and why is it in line with our vision? So we recently just talked about how we're really looking to build this future of Web3 and build the next stage of mass adoption, right? Now that can only happen with an architecture that's also suited for that. So work chains came to us because we realized we don't know what the future will hold. Maybe TVM is the best right now, maybe proof of stake is the best now, but in 10, 20, 30 years, there may be another consensus mechanism or another virtual machine which is optimal for a different use case. What work chains allow us to do is actually have a separate chain with a unique virtual machine, their own consensus mechanism, block time, whatever, fully customizable, and it can all work interoperable together under our layer zero architecture. To this day, the most insecure part of crypto is still bridges, right? And having multiple chains underneath one architecture is still going to be the most secure option. So that is why we have work chains, and they can be both permissioned, permissionless, and really made for any use case, right?
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for that. And also, as I mentioned, people, I can make your own research to know more actually. And also, if you have any more question and query, you can ask through this AMA. And also, after that, you can ask on the Telegram and other social link actually. So Robert and also Shahraz, I can see like right now you're working through the Africa actually, and also I can see you're seeking to empower African communities by bridging traditional finance and trade with the Web2 world. So question is that what is your marketing strategy to overcome the current barriers to the widespread adoption of the blockchain technology, not only Africa but also all over the world?
Yeah, so I mean, I think there's a little bit of an assumption in the question that it's sort of a marketing issue, but our marketing strategy is to have the best product. Our marketing strategy is to solve real problems, like Daryl kind of touched on before. A lot of projects or most projects are currently almost like fighting for the same customers and solving the same types of problems. And a lot of them are not really solving a problem. They're making something that's already kind of working, and they're making it with all these like Web3 native things that you have to do, such as getting a wallet and signing for things. And it introduces new problems to people. So what we want to be able to do is go out there and solve problems in the world that others are not solving. And this is where the regulation comes into play, right? We want to be able to create real world assets as far as tokenizing them and fractionalizing the token ownership. I mean, one example that I always speak of myself is, I bought a house last year, and getting the mortgage for the house and transferring the title deed was an 18-month process here in Eastern Europe, and that's just ridiculous. With the technology that we have today, this is something that could be done, in 30 minutes. Both of those things, right? The acquisition of the mortgage and the transfer of the title deed. So we want to be solving those kinds of problems. Like, why is something taking 18 months when it could be taking an hour? And so again, the issue with those types of problems is that, well, first of all, it takes time, especially if you're going to be involved in governments. But yeah, it's just like, it takes time, but it's just very difficult, and yeah, we're just really hoping to solve these real world problems, and that's where the regulation comes into play. And so that's really at the core, that's the marketing strategy: is solve real world problems, and do it in a way where at the end of the day, people shouldn't have to care that blockchain is involved. Like, they shouldn't even have to know about it. And so that's kind of the answer to that. And of course, we're doing all the traditional marketing. We're, setting up strategic partnerships that make sense. And we're doing, tier one content and PR and creative campaigns and all these things. But at the end of the day, we want to solve real problems. Otherwise, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yes, and also hope that this is aiming for that, actually, like to make more awareness among the people about the venom, actually. So hope for the best. And also, as far I know, like your minute is coming, but rather than that, what is your future plan, like in the last part of 2023 and also in the beginning of the 2024?
Well, for now, we have testnet. Everything is technically ready. We're just really waiting on market sentiment as well, right? Launching in the best condition is also part of the strategy. Then after mainnet launches, the goal is simply just to build out the best layer 1 ecosystem. But like I just mentioned, we also have a layer 0 ecosystem. So in the future, we definitely plan out to expand our layer 0 ecosystems. That means involving more chains to actually work together under our architecture, both permissioned and permissionless, and countless amounts of partnerships to actually foster the growth with real world assets and fiat-backed stablecoins. We have a lot at the moment, but we really plan to make Venom a global thing. Starting out from the MENA region, really capturing growth there, but soon enough, we're really going to be the global chain.
Okay, yeah, got it. So it's time to take some question from the community. I saw like people are waiting to ask a question, but before that, anything else you wanted to say, or directly you want to go to take some question?
Yeah, I'm ready. We can go for questions. Let's do it.
Yes, definitely. Like community is everything. Yeah. So I can see here is Uncle Omar. Hello, Uncle Omar.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for bringing me up to ask my question. As the blockchain industry becomes more competitive, how does Venom Network plan to differentiate itself and to continue to attract both developers and users of the Web3? Thank you.
Good question. I'd say it starts with focusing on a niche that doesn't have as much competitive nature. But part of the reason why we're also not EVM compatible, right? Making another EVM chain at this point, think about it, it will be very competitive, right? What can you really offer? By offering tech from the start that allows people to do things that isn't possible on other chains, we have a big competitive advantage. But also by strategically deploying capital in areas where we think there is less competition, but also a high amount of growth. Hence, fiat stablecoins, real world assets. These are niches that we see playing out pretty big in the long run, but they haven't really had that bull case yet.
Okay, thank you for the answer and good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle Omar, for your question. And don't forget to follow the kind of social link and join. Next one is Panda. Hello, Panda. Are you there?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, ask your
Yes.
question, please.
All right, thank you. So, my question is in respect to your smart contracts of the project. I just want to know, like, how secure is the smart contract from hacks to safeguard users' asset, and at the same time, I want to know about your audit status currently for the project.
About our audit status, you mentioned that?
Yeah.
Yes, we have multiple partners that we work with. So we have Hack and Certic that are both auditing contracts. So we audit pretty much all of the contracts that are also going to be live on mainnet, but we've also audited testnet contracts. Now, a big part of what we have been doing is actually fostering the growth of our ecosystem with the first lineup of dApps that are going to be live on mainnet. And part of this fostering of growth is actually providing the audits for those apps. So things like your bridge, your deck, all of that kind of stuff. These all have audits because we know that people are going to fork these, make their own protocols. So it's better to get the foundation secured from day one by auditing all of this core infrastructure, and then we're confident that we're going to be very secure in nature.
Okay, so I have one more question. Can I ask?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
sure.
All right, so my question is about regulation. And if you see currently the crypto industry seems to be more regulated, there's more pressure to regulate cryptocurrency as a whole. So I just want to know, like, as a project, do you have any plan to plan for compliance with such involving crypto regulations and standard, and at the same time while maintaining users' friendly experience of its users in the future?
So plans for regulation for our project? Is this your main
Yes.
question?
Yeah, I'm talking about crypto regulation that is, in most country currently. So I just want to know, like, how do you intend to comply with such involving crypto regulations and standard while you are trying to maintain your user-friendly experience with your users in the future?
Yeah, so I guess it's pretty obvious, right? We're the first ADGM licensed chain, so we take that pretty seriously, and I'm glad you asked that question because instead of ignoring it and waiting for a regulator, whether it be European or even the SEC to come knocking at your door, we've actually taken the first stand to actually go and pursue a network with the regulator, right? Now having that license and actually the first license, ADGM actually allows us to also guide the relationship with the regulator and crypto, right? We're the experts here. We know what we should regulate and how we should regulate it and how we shouldn't. So by having that position together with the regulator puts us in a strong point of view, right? We know that the rules that are going to be made are going to be fair because we've also approved them and we also have to face them. Also, regulation gets a pretty bad view, I think, because of all of the places where they're regulating crypto negatively. But we also believe the next wave of the bull run is really going to come from working together with governments and enterprises, right? Because enterprises will lead the next bull run, in my opinion, and they're only going to do so if the government is also agreeing with crypto in the first place.
All right, thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, no
Okay,
problem.
yeah. Thank you, Panda, for your question. Next one, I have the safety first. Hello, safety first. Ask your question, please.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity for giving me the mic. I just want to know, is a Venom EVM compatible network?
No, we are not EVM compatible. So we are TVM compatible. However, we are able to make an EVM compatible work chain in the future because we are still layer 0. So whether you beat us to it, that's the question. You can get together a couple of devs and make an EVM compatible chain because anything is possible under our layer 0, right? But no, the main chain, our layer 1, is TVM, not EVM.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you, safety first, for the question. Hope that like you missed the first part, like we already discussed about, but no problem. Next one is Seja Singh. Hello, Seja Singh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, ask your question, please.
Okay, my question, what are the benefit of holding your token as long-term investment? Can you tell us about the motivation and benefit for investor to keep your long token in long-term run? Thank you.
Unfortunately, I cannot share any financial recommendation or benefits of holding it for an investment point of view, seeing as we are an ADGM licensed chain. However, I can just point to the several utilities of the token, which is it's the token of use through our layer 0 ecosystem. So anytime tokens are swapped between chains under our layer 0, you'll need the token. Whenever you're deploying contracts, you'll need the token, and you can secure the network by staking the token, also paying for all of the transaction fees. However, I cannot give an investment recommendation, unfortunately.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Cesar Singh, for your question. Next one is James. Hello, James.
Okay, good day, guys.
Yeah, good day.
I
Ask your
just
question, please.
I just want to ask: is there any CBDC building on Venom blockchain at the moment?
Any CBDCs? Well, we
Yeah.
use the term fiat-backed stablecoin, um, which could eventually become CBDCs in the future. However, at the moment, what we have is we have several partnerships lined up with countries to actually start developing these after mainnet. So in the testnet environment, unfortunately, not just because it does not make sense. There's no real currency or value associated with the testnet environment. But on the mainnet environment, presume there will be several of these projects. Then again, are we building them? No, we are just the infrastructure to support these.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, James, for your question. And also, I'd like to thank everyone for having here. So, Robert, I think we are enough for now. Like, we got our 5 winners. But before wrap up this segment, anything, like anything else important you wanted to share to our community?
Um, Not necessarily. I think Venom.network is the place for people to go if they want to interact and just kind of get a feel for how the chain's doing, and then just follow us on Twitter and pay attention. Like I have mentioned, there will be some news in the near future for those who are interested in the mainnet launch and that sort of thing. So yeah, just keep an eye out. Follow the team. There's a bunch of people here. We're also individual team members. Try to share some interesting things about what we're doing sort of behind the scenes. For example, I wrote a thread about how we succeeded with our first hackathon, things of that nature. If people are curious about the sort of behind the scenes and what we're working on. And yeah, just keep paying attention, and we look forward to speaking to you guys a lot more.
Yeah, share us. You want to say something?
Yes, thank you guys for joining. It was a pleasure speaking to you guys. Have a good day,
Uh,
and speak to
yeah,
you guys next time.
definitely. Yeah, for sure. And also, I'd like to say everyone for having here to listen to Semi carefully. And people, if you have any more question and query regarding to their project, you can ask on their social media link. And no worry about that. Actually, people, make your own research to know more about. And also, best wishes to your project, Robert, and share us. Hope for the best.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Bye bye. Have a good one.
Yeah, bye.